Today we're headed out for a hike in Arizona. We're currently in what's known as the Arizona Strip, which is one of the most remote places in the country. There are no services, not much of anything out here at all. Now today we're not too far away from civilization, but you can really get out here. The hike that we're headed out to do today is called Fossil Canyon. It's just a few miles. Throughout this hike, I'm going to share with you our very best tips that we have learned over the years exploring all of these beautiful and often remote places. And be sure to stay tuned until the very end, because that is when I'm going to share our #1 top tip, something we absolutely never forget to do and bring with us. My first tip for being prepared when you're headed out for an adventure in the middle of nowhere, or just really any adventure, is before you head out, before you leave town, be sure to top off your tank of gas. Many of these places do not have gas stations for miles, and the last thing that you want is to be stranded without gas in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road with nobody to help.
One of the things that these really remote places are used for is the Bureau of Land Management will lease hundreds of thousands of these acres to ranchers to ranch their cattle on. So behind us is a corral. I don't know how big this tract of land is, but there are probably a couple hundred cows that are on this tract of land, and the ranchers pay the Bureau of Land Management to put their cows on this land.
Thankfully, both of our dogs, Doug and Jackson, do not mind or pay any attention to cows, horses at all. They just walk right past them and really don't even notice them. It looks like we're probably getting pretty close to the canyon entrance. I'm guessing it's right up here. My second very important item to always bring with you when you're headed out for an adventure is bear spray. Now you might think that's a little strange given we are in the middle of the desert and it's probably unlikely that there are bears in this area, but who knows, there could be. However, this is not just for bears. These areas that we're exploring have many different types of wildlife you could encounter. The top one that comes to my mind in an area like this would maybe be a mountain lion, which is a little scary to think about. So we just like to bring this with us just to be safe. It doesn't take up much room in your bag, and of course you hope you never have to use it, and it's kind of a last resort, but it does just make us feel good to have it with us.
Water definitely comes ripping through here.
I know. Good thing there's no rain in the forecast, huh?
Yep.
And that leads us to our third tip. Always double and triple check the weather forecast, because when you are in an area like this that is a canyon with high walls on both sides, you do not want to be caught here down in the rain. So we are always adamant about checking multiple sources for the weather just to be extra safe. So we just entered the entrance of Fossil Canyon. It is so unexpected to just be out in that sort of open land back there and then come into this canyon with these huge walls. Super cool. So Paul found this right here. It's a bunch of wire, metal wire, that is wrapped around this rock. And that probably just shows you how intense the rain can be down here when there's probably a flash flood coming through here to bring all of that wire all the way down here that got stuck on this rock. My fourth tip is to be sure to download your maps, because it's likely you're not going to have cell service out in a place like this. So we use multiple different mapping apps, one of them being AllTrails, which is typically where we download the actual hiking trail so we can make sure we're staying on track and on the correct route. Next, we use another mapping software called Onyx, and I can download a huge map where it shows me all of the roads in the area so we can be sure we're heading in the right direction. And you're also able to download offline maps through Google Maps. So I would recommend downloading information from multiple different mapping softwares just to make sure you cover all of your bases.
Times and places are all in who you share them with, and it's life, and the point is enjoying who you share it with. Joy is who you share it with. Joy is who you share it with. Who you share it with. Who you share it with.
Super awesome.
Super awesome. I've never seen rock like this before.
And a home is who you share it with.
So my next item to bring relates to water. While it's unlikely you're going to find much water out here in the desert, so this is more useful when we're out hiking in the mountains and in the forests, but something we always bring, no matter what, is a water filtering straw. So the brand that we have is called Life Straw, and it's just a straw that you can stick down in any lake or river and filter your water so you have safe drinking water. And I'm sure this goes without saying, you definitely want to be prepared ahead of time and pack enough water and enough food to get you through your hike, but this is good just to have some peace of mind. My next tip is to always dress in layers because the weather can change pretty drastically when you're out in the wilderness. So today I had on a t-shirt, I had on this hoodie, and I also had on this jacket because it was pretty chilly this morning when we left, but now the sun is out, it's full sun today, and it's very warm. But I'd rather be over prepared and have extra layers than end up being too cold. When we're lucky enough to come across a place as incredible as this, that seems to be such a hidden gem, there's nobody here, we always wonder, how many other places are there out there, hidden in the deserts and in the mountains, that are just these beautiful canyons or other landscapes that aren't overpopulated yet? You know, with all the hiking we do, so many places that we come across, the most beautiful places are usually very overpopulated, and that's just the way that it is, you know, as more people start to enjoy hiking and find these trails. And there's apps like All Trails that make hiking and finding out about these places very accessible, which isn't a bad thing. But like right now, oh my goodness, this is just one of the most amazing places we've ever been, and there's nobody here at all. So we always wonder, how many other places are there out there that we have yet to see, are yet to know about, and have hardly been explored, that are just as incredible as this? So we just came across an obstacle we're trying to figure out how to handle. So right back there in that crack, there's a long rope hanging down that humans can definitely climb. Hold on to the rope and kind of just use your footing to get up there to the top. But we aren't sure if we're going to be able to get the dogs up there or not. You can probably hear they're very upset Paul's making his way back there. What do you think? Does it look safe?
Yeah, so this is like an actual climbing rope, and there's like real climbing bolts holding it all in.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know how we'll get the dogs up there. We might have to take turns.
Oh yeah, there's a like full climbing anchor.
Wow, nice. That's convenient for the middle of nowhere. Doggies, it's okay. You're okay. He's coming back. So Paul's gonna go scope it out. I think we're nearing the end of the trail anyway, so maybe we'll just take turns going up there and checking it out. But these doggies are not happy that their dad is up there. It's okay. It's okay. It's kind of easier, yeah, if you use those middle footholds.
If only you had thumbs.
Going down is way scarier than going up.
Without a question.
That was exciting. All right. Everybody's okay. So up at the top there, it pretty much looks just like this, except the walls are shorter. And then shortly after you get up there, it actually leads you to the county road that we were driving on when we were making our way to the trailhead. So if we were able to go up there, it looks like we could probably do a loop, but I'd kind of rather go back this way anyway. It would be much more scenic, but that was pretty fun. Definitely didn't expect to be doing that today. So these are all small, various items that Paul pretty much always has in his backpack, and he brings that almost everywhere we go. First and foremost is a first aid kit. This is very important to have with you. We've definitely had to pull out some band-aids out of here. Thankfully, we've never really needed to use it before, but definitely very good to have. Next up, we have Paul's Leatherman, which has a bunch of tools on it. I would say most importantly, probably the knife. And then this is a tourniquet, which originally we bought because we thought you were to use a tourniquet if you were to get bit by a rattlesnake, and we've seen multiple rattlesnakes out on trails. However, we did learn you actually do not use a tourniquet when you get bit by a rattlesnake. So something we would use this for is if somebody got a bad cut and you wanted to use this to help stop the bleeding. Next up, we have a lighter, we have a rope. What would we use this for? I don't even know why you have this actually.
I just have it just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, it's 500-pound paracord.
And then this is a ferro rod, which you can use to start an emergency fire if you were to need to do that. And then this is a little emergency blanket. So if we were caught in a bad situation and we're very cold, this will keep you really warm. This has been one of the most unique and beautiful hikes we've done in a long time. I'm so happy we stumbled upon this. So we're gonna make our way back through the canyon and back to the car now.
What are you doing? Come on. Come on. Oh. Come on.
Douglas, go ahead, buddy.
What are you doing, huh?
He always takes the high route.
Yeah, he does. And then he always wants to put his head in here instead of on the outside of my arm.
Dad will rescue me. Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. You want to be carried back to the car?
So we're back at the car, and as promised, last but not least, probably the most important thing that we bring with us is a satellite communication device. So we have the Garmin InReach Mini 2, and we pay a subscription every month to be able to use it for text messages and to send out an emergency alert if we were in a really bad situation. So we pretty much always bring this with us, and I would highly recommend getting one of these if you're going to be somewhere without cell service, just to be extra safe. You never want to be caught in a bad situation, and it just makes us feel a little more secure going out on these adventures. So that's going to wrap up today's hike. We absolutely loved exploring this area. There is so much to see out here, and we haven't even scratched the surface, but what a great day. So thank you as always for watching. If you're not already, we'd love if you subscribe to our channel and gave this video a thumbs up. And we'll see you on the next adventure. One last thing I wanted to mention, this definitely is not an exhaustive list. What you take with you is always going to depend on what sort of adventure you're going on, but this is just kind of a good base that makes us feel good about going out into these areas. So always be safe, be prepared, and make sure you have what you need before you need it.